Okay, gather round and let the noise of your mind settle for a moment. Listen closely, for what I am about to share is not merely a collection of words, but a key to unlocking a way of being, a way of moving through this world that most will never grasp. They will tell you that life is unfair, that the world is a harsh place, and in their own way, they are not wrong. The world, in its vast indifference, does not pause for your tears, nor does it tally your betrayals or count the moments you were unjustly pushed aside. It offers no unearned solace. But here is a truth more profound. You were never sculpted for the shadows, never designed to dissolve into the background. You were forged in fire, intended to blaze, to stand as a beacon. If your desire is not merely to exist, but to truly live, to not just participate, but to prevail in this grand, often tumultuous theater of life, then you must cultivate an intelligence that cuts deeper than cunning. I speak not of deceit or the cold machinations of manipulation, but of a refined way of navigating, thinking with a sharpness that pierces illusion, living with a sagacity that turns obstacles into stepping stones. This is the wisdom etched by scars, distilled from solitary nights where tears were your only companions, and forged in the crucible of days where all you possessed was a flicker of hope and a spine of unyielding steel. You aspire to a state of quiet command, to enter any space and emanate a presence that needs no announcement, a certainty that you cannot be played. Then lend me your focus, for I will impart 5 principles, 5 pillars upon which a life of unshakable integrity and influence can be built. These are the demarcations between the forgotten and the forever remembered. Embrace them, live by their essence, and you will never again be a pawn in anyone else's game. Let us delve into the very core of your being. Reflect with unflinching honesty. How many precious opportunities, how many cherished connections, how much of your own inviolable dignity has slipped through your fingers, not because of an external blow, but because of the tremor of your own unmastered reaction. Our emotions, you see, are like vast oceans, powerful, life-giving, capable of immense beauty. Yet, if left unchecked, they can become a poisoned chalice, a tempest that wrecks the very vessel of our lives. A person unable to govern the currents of their anger, the shadows of their fear, or the gnawing whispers of insecurity becomes a marionette, their strings pulled by circumstance, by the words and actions of others. They dance to a discordant symphony they never composed. However, the one who cultivates discipline over these inner tides, who learns to navigate the storms within, becomes a truly formidable soul. This is the individual who has weathered tempests, yet walks with the serene assurance of one for whom the sun shines eternally. You must strive to reach a sanctuary within, a place where you feel the entirety of life's spectrum, the joy, the sorrow, the frustration, yet respond to nothing impulsively, reacting only when it aligns with your deepest values and strategic intent. This control is not an absence of feeling, a cold detachment. It is the pinnacle of wisdom. It is the profound understanding that another's disrespect need not ignite a wildfire of chaos within you, dragging you down to their level. You are the lion. You do not flinch or roar back at every insignificant bark. You do not expend your precious energy defending your inherent worth to those who are committed to misunderstanding you, nor do you allow their venom to seep into the wellspring of your mindset. If disrespect is shown, you observe, you assess, and you respond, if a response is even merited, with calculated calm, at a time, and in a manner of your choosing. To let your emotions dictate your actions is to surrender your power, to become predictable, average. And you, my friend, are not here to be average. You are here to ascend, to lead, to command your reality without sacrificing the sanctity of your inner peace. Observe the most potent individuals in any gathering. They are often the calmest, the most still. This is no mere coincidence. Stillness is a weapon of immense power. Composure is the hallmark of control. While others flail, expending energy in emotional outbursts, throwing verbal punches with no clear aim, you stand centered, observing, learning, waiting. You strike if you must, when the moment is perfectly ripe, with precision and devastating effect. The loudest voice in the room is seldom the most powerful, but the one seated in quiet contemplation, listening with every fiber of their being, reading the subtle energies and unspoken narratives. That is the presence to be truly reckoned with. Aspire to be that presence. Let your countenance be a serene mask, never betraying your next move, never revealing what truly stirs you. This is how you outmaneuver those who seek to manipulate, to criticize, to undermine. Maintain your poise, for your silence amidst a storm speaks with an eloquence that 1,000 frantic words could never achieve. Emotions are natural guides, signals from within, but they were never meant to be your masters. Anger, jealousy, fear, these are indicators, not steering wheels. Allow them to seize control, and they will drive you headlong into the abyss of regret. So, what is the path? It is one of rigorous training. You cultivate the habit of breathing before speaking, of observing before acting. You build the internal architecture to delay your reaction until your discerning mind, not the fleeting intensity of your feelings, dictates your next move. You learn to transmute emotion into fuel, not wildfire. Channel your pain into unwavering purpose, your disappointment into refined strategy. When provocation comes, as it inevitably will, you remind yourself, I am the master of this moment. I choose its unfolding, I choose its end. Therein lies the heart of true dominance, not over others, but over the self. The deepest secret to power is self-control. It is why so few truly possess it, for it demands more strength to remain calm than to lash out, more character to walk away from a needless conflict than to ignite a war that will only birth regret. Emotional mastery does not mean allowing others to trample upon you. It means possessing the acuity to discern which battles are worthy of your energy and which are mere distractions, noise designed to pull you from your path. Most of what angers you is unworthy of your life force. Most of what disappoints you is often a subtle redirection, life's way of whispering, this was not meant for you. But if you are ensnared in the maelstrom of your feelings, you will miss the lesson. And in missing the lesson, you are doomed to repeat the mistake. This is not merely about sidestepping conflict. It is about striding into your purpose with a clear, uncluttered mind. When you are emotionally volatile, your vision is clouded, your judgment impaired. You cannot perceive opportunities clearly. You make decisions from a place of turbulence. You misplace your trust, speak out of turn, and burn bridges you may later need. But when your mind is sharp, your spirit stable, you become an untouchable force. You navigate storms as if they were sunlit days. Others cast shade, and you use it to grow. They underestimate you, and you allow their ignorance to become your most effective camouflage. Emotional discipline is the silent engine driving powerful strategic moves. If someone can push your buttons, they can orchestrate your life. If they know what incites your anger, they know how to distract you from your goals. If they understand the triggers of your insecurity, they can manipulate your decisions. And if your decisions are manipulated, you are not living on your terms. You are a puppet dancing to their tune. That is not dominance. It is dependence, an emotional servitude. Therefore, you must begin to ask yourself with profound sincerity, who truly holds the reins here? Is it you or the ghosts of your past wounds, the specter of your fear, the insatiable demands of your ego? Seize the driver's seat of your own emotional state. You cannot lead others. You cannot protect what is precious to you. You cannot conquer the challenges of this life if you remain a prisoner to every fleeting mood that knocks upon your door. I share this not from a pedestal of flawless perfection, but from the hard-won ground of experience. There will be countless moments when every fiber of your being screams to react, to fight, to scream, to vindicate yourself. But understand this, the higher you ascend, the more intense the pressures you will face, the more insidiously nonsense will try to ensnare you. This is precisely why you must forge a mind that is stronger than the ebb and flow of your emotions. You must learn to sit with discomfort and not let it shatter your resolve. You must relinquish the craving for external validation, for constant understanding, for applause. There will be times when you must walk away in dignified silence, even as your pride roars for retribution. There will be occasions where you must embody the larger perspective, even when every instinct urges you to scorch the earth. This is the way of the warrior, and you, my friend, were built for the battlefield, but the most crucial battlefield is the one within your own mind. So, if you wish to outsmart anyone, begin by outsmarting yourself. Outsmart your own anger, outsmart your own ego, outsmart that insidious inner voice that whispers of revenge instead of true victory. Your legacy will not be measured by the volume of your roar, but by the quiet strength with which you ruled over your own spirit. Control your emotions and never allow them to control you. This is not merely the first rule of profound influence, it is the bedrock upon which all other mastery is built. Master this, and the world will find it exceedingly difficult to ever play you again. Allow me to share a truth that eludes most until the tapestry of their lives is nearly woven, often with threads of regret. True power is not acquired through the volume of your speech, but through the depth of your knowing. There is a sacredness in silence, a profound weight, a dominant energy that permeates the stillness. In a world cacophonous with voices, each clamoring to prove, to impress, to be seen and heard, the individual who speaks with measured economy, who chooses their words as a master archer chooses their arrows, often commands the most profound respect and attention. The world bows to wisdom, and wisdom rarely shouts. It whispers, often in the pauses between words. When you enter a space and speak only when necessity dictates, when your words carry the undeniable weight of insight, people will lean in. They will listen with an intensity reserved for pronouncements of great import, for they sense that what you offer is not mere noise, but distilled understanding. But before you even part your lips, ensure that your mind is a treasure trove of knowledge, that you truly comprehend the landscape of the conversation. Learn everything. Observe the subtle patterns in human behavior. Read the unspoken language of people. Study the intricate mechanics of the game of life. And then, consciously, deliberately, say less. For the one who knows the most and speaks the least, that is the individual who truly holds the cards, the one who, more often than not, emerges victorious. You see, every unnecessary word spoken is a piece of yourself given away. Your thoughts, your vulnerabilities, your strategic intentions, your hidden weaknesses. Others, consciously or unconsciously, will gather these fragments, study your verbal patterns, dissect your statements, and if their intent is less than noble, use them to their advantage, perhaps even against you. But if you can cultivate the art of holding your tongue, of speaking only when your words are like finely honed blades, sharp, clear, and purposeful, you cloak yourself in an aura of untouchability. You confound those who might wish you ill, you intrigue those who could be allies, and most importantly, you safeguard the serene fortress of your inner peace. This is not about cultivating an air of artificial mystery for its own sake. It is about being profoundly intentional. It is about possessing a quiet dangerousness rooted in your silence. For people cannot manipulate what they do not comprehend. They cannot counter moves they do not see materializing, and they certainly cannot control a mind whose depths they cannot fathom. Learn to make your silence resonate more powerfully than their clamor. Life, in its entirety, is a vast classroom, and every individual you encounter, every room you enter, every failure you endure, is a teacher offering invaluable lessons. But if your mind is too preoccupied with formulating your next sentence, if you are too eager to project your own voice, you will remain deaf to the wisdom being whispered all around you. The most astute individuals in any setting are invariably the most diligent listeners. They are not desperately trying to impress you with their own brilliance. They are meticulously assessing you, your tone of voice, your choice of words, the subtle energies you project. They are like master detectives, picking up on minute details, discerning patterns, identifying gaps in logic and unspoken assumptions. And when they finally choose to speak, they do not squander their breath on trivialities. Their words are precise, measured, imbued with a power that commands attention. This is the standard to which you must aspire. Relinquish the need to be the loudest. Strive instead to be the most aware. Cultivate the ability to absorb information like a sponge, to become a silent collector of knowledge, sitting back and amassing insights until the opportune moment arrives to make your move. And when you do, let it be surgical, precise, unforgettable. If your aim is to outsmart anyone, then you must arm yourself with more knowledge than they presume you possess and articulate less than they anticipate. This is the art of moving in silence and striking with overwhelming strength. Let them underestimate your quietude. Let them misinterpret your stillness as a lack of knowledge. Let them grow comfortable in their assumptions, for it is in that space of their misjudgment that your true power begins to germinate. In a world addicted to the relentless barrage of noise, silence, when wielded with intention, is a superpower. But this silence must be more than mere absence of sound. It must be deeply rooted in and backed by extensive learning. You must immerse yourself in the books they are not reading. Ask the incisive questions they are not courageous enough to voice. Observe the subtle dynamics they are too distracted to notice. Develop an obsession with understanding. The intricacies of human psychology, the undercurrents of systems, the flows of money, the dynamics of conflict and peace, the anatomy of success and failure. Knowledge is your impenetrable armor, your sharpest weapon, your truest compass. And paradoxically, the more you come to know, the less you will feel the compulsion to speak, because your confidence will blossom from a place of inner clarity, not from the volume of your pronouncements. Have you ever noticed that the most strategically brilliant game-changing moves are often the ones that materialize without any prior announcement, the ones you never see coming? That is because the architects of such moves do not broadcast their intentions. They learn, they plan, they execute with meticulous precision in the quiet sanctum of their own counsel, while others boast of grand designs that never leave the drawing board. The truly wise are already 10 steps ahead, their progress veiled in silence. Do not be the person who tirelessly narrates their every endeavor. Be the person who unveils the finished masterpiece. Do not announce your ambitions. Let your results thunder. Do not endlessly explain your mindset. Embody it with every action. Those who are loud often crave external validation. Those who are wise possess an innate knowing of their own worth. When you commit to learning everything and speaking little, you conserve your precious mental energy for what truly matters: strategic thinking, disciplined action, flawless execution. This is the potent combination that sets you apart from the masses. Understand this critical principle. Every word you utter carries a cost. It costs you time, it costs you energy, and often it costs you opportunity and leverage. The more others know about your inner workings, the more ammunition they possess, should they choose to use it against you. The less you reveal, the more impenetrable your mind becomes. You must protect your thoughts, your plans, your aspirations with the same vigilance you would employ to protect your home. You would not leave your door wide open for any passerby to enter and rummage through your belongings, would you? Then why do you leave your dreams, your intentions, your strategies exposed for the world to dissect, distort, and potentially derail? Learn to guard the sanctity of your inner world. Speak only when your words have a clear purpose, when they carry undeniable weight. And when you do choose to speak, let your voice resonate with clarity, calmness, and unshakable confidence. This is the cadence of leaders, the way kings and queens move through the world. Most people mistakenly believe that talking equates to power, but talking is only power when it is profoundly backed by knowledge, by discipline, by an undeniable presence. Without these foundations, it is merely noise, and noise, however loud, fades quickly into insignificance. If you desire to command your destiny in this life, commit to the path of learning everything and speaking little. Become so knowledgeable that your silence itself is intimidating. Be so precise in your articulation that your few, well-chosen words cut deeper and resonate longer than the rambling paragraphs of others. Cultivate such mental acuity that people seek you out for your guidance, not for idle gossip. And most importantly, do not allow the relentless noise of the world to rush you into revealing your hand prematurely. Patience is an integral component of strategy. Learning is the very essence of winning. Every moment you invest in listening instead of talking is a moment you grow stronger, smarter, and more prepared. While they are engrossed in the sound of their own voices, you are in the silent dojo of your mind, transforming, evolving. So, when you walk into any room, carry yourself with the quiet assurance of one who knows far more than they choose to reveal. Resist the urge to prove yourself, to desperately seek understanding. The world may not immediately recognize your worth, and that is perfectly acceptable, because when you finally do speak, your words will have the power to shake the very ground beneath their feet. When you finally do move, your actions will carve a legacy. Keep learning, keep sharpening the unparalleled weapon of your mind. Speak less, listen more, for in the grand unfolding, it is the quiet student who often becomes the revered master, the silent observer who becomes the anticipated storm, and the one who dedicates themselves to learning everything while speaking little. That is the one nobody sees coming until it is profoundly, irrevocably too late. There arrives a juncture in every life, a critical turning point where you awaken to the stark realization that patiently waiting for external validation, for someone else to anoint you, is the very anchor weighing you down, preventing your ascent. You find yourself caught in a cycle of hoping someone will finally perceive your inherent worth, hoping a door will magically swing open, hoping an opportunity will be graciously handed to you. But the unvarnished truth, the kind that cuts through delusion, is this: no one is riding in on a white horse to grant you permission to rise. You must seize it. You must move with the unshakable conviction that your destiny is already yours, as if the opportunity you seek has already been signed, sealed, and delivered into your deserving hands. Understand this: power does not gravitate towards the hesitant, nor does it belong to the individual perpetually glancing around for a nod of approval. Power is drawn to and ultimately resides with the one who meticulously studies the path, sharpens the blade of their skill, and steps forward with unwavering intention. Precision over permission. This is the foundational mindset of those who don't just participate, but dominate their chosen fields. You do not politely inquire of the world if it is acceptable for you to be great. You demonstrate through your actions and your being what greatness truly looks like. You were not brought into this world to beg for scraps, nor were you designed to linger at the back of the line, hoping someone will eventually wave you forward. When you choose to operate with precision, your entire mode of being shifts. You cease to chase, you begin to choose. You move with deliberate purpose, not with the scattered energy of panic. You no longer wait for an external go signal, because you have already made the internal declaration that this race, this endeavor, this life belongs to you. Consider for a moment the countless souls who never even embark upon their journey, forever stalled at the starting line, hoping for an external voice to assure them they are ready. The ones who consistently win, however, operate under a different paradigm. They prepare in the quiet shadows, meticulously studying the map of their ambitions, diligently building their capacities in the darkness, away from prying eyes. And when they finally emerge, they are not timidly asking for entry. They are confidently taking their rightful seat at the table. The world, often unconsciously, makes way for the individual who radiates an unshakable knowing of their destination. You must approach your life as a mission of utmost importance, and missions by their very nature are not open for debate or committee approval. When a skilled pilot prepares for takeoff, they do not conduct a survey among the passengers, asking if it's okay to fly. They follow a precise flight plan, a focused protocol, and they lift off with an unwavering confidence born of preparation and expertise. This is precisely how you must learn to move in your own life. Banish hesitation. Silence the insidious whispers of self-doubt. Eradicate the crippling need to ask if you are good enough. Begin to walk as if the very ground beneath your feet recognizes your sovereignty. Start speaking as if your voice carries inherent value and deserves to be heard. Start making decisions as if your vision is not just a fleeting dream, but a future reality demanding to be manifested. Because when you passively wait for permission, you willingly relinquish your power, and once power is handed over, it is a monumental task to reclaim it. Conversely, when you move with precision, you retain control firmly in your own hands. You lead, you do not follow. You command, you do not merely request. Let me be unequivocally clear. Moving with precision is not synonymous with impulsiveness or reckless haste. It is the art of thinking with crystalline clarity, moving with unshakable confidence, and executing with an unwavering commitment to excellence. When you embody precision, it signifies that the arduous work has already been accomplished long before anyone witnesses your public move. You have trained diligently, studied relentlessly, stumbled, fallen, and risen again, each time stronger and wiser. So, when you finally take that decisive step, you do not crave applause, for you are guided by an inner alignment, a deep sense of purpose. You are not moving to impress the gallery. You are moving because you have unequivocally earned your moment. And that caliber of power does not beg for attention. It commands it effortlessly. Your silence becomes a statement of strength. Your deliberate steps become powerful pronouncements. Your unwavering vision becomes undeniably potent. You do not knock tentatively on doors, hoping to be let in. You design and build your own door, and then you walk through it with the authority of one who belongs. The fundamental difference between those who merely dream and those who actively dominate is strikingly simple. Dominators do not wait for ideal conditions to magically appear. They do not postpone action, waiting for a chorus of support, for universal understanding, or for a standing ovation. They decide, they move, they adjust their course as needed. They embrace failure not as a final verdict, but as crucial feedback, propelling them forward. They are not chasing the illusion of comfort. They are relentlessly pursuing clarity. And clarity, true clarity, is most often found not in passive contemplation, but in purposeful action. You discover the depths of your capabilities, not when you are lost in thought, but when you are engaged in the doing. When you move with precision, you learn invaluable lessons from your missteps. You correct your course with agility, but you never ever stop. You never stall. You never surrender your momentum to the whims or opinions of others. Your path may not be easy, it may be fraught with challenges, but it will be unequivocally yours. And in that ownership, in that self-directed journey, lies true freedom. Not in the elusive pursuit of perfection, but in the unwavering commitment to purposeful movement. Sometimes the most constricting chains are not external, but forged in the recesses of your own mind. That insidious inner critic whispering, "You need permission, you're not ready. Who do you think you are to even try?" But that voice is a deceiver, and it will keep you confined to a small, unfulfilling existence if you allow it to dictate your actions. This is precisely why precision is paramount. When your focus is laser sharp on your objective, there is simply no mental space for that debilitating noise. When you are locked into your next deliberate step, fear loses its grip. It cannot find purchase. You cannot be intimidated by the specter of rejection when you no longer operate from a place of asking. You cannot be crushed by the weight of others' opinions when your mission transcends their approval. People may not understand your journey, they may question your choices, and that is perfectly acceptable. They were not entrusted with your unique vision. You were. Therefore, honor it, walk in it, own it, with every fiber of your being. Greatness does not announce its arrival with trumpets and fanfare. It materializes in the unwavering consistency of your actions, in the decisive sharpness of your moves, in the disciplined intentionality behind your decisions. Every single day that you take a purposeful step forward without waiting for the world to applaud is a day you grow stronger, clearer, bolder. Do not move because it is popular. Move because it is aligned with your deepest truth. Do not speak because you crave to be heard. Speak because you have something of value to contribute. Do not act to impress. Act to impact. When you master the art of moving with precision, you cease to merely react to circumstances and you begin to actively create your reality. You stop chasing fleeting illusions and you start building enduring legacies. And slowly but surely, the world begins to recognize and respond to the immense power that has always resided within you, patiently waiting to be unleashed. So, from this moment onward, make a solemn vow to stop waiting. Decide with unshakable clarity who you are. Decide with unwavering conviction what you want, and then move. Move even if doubt whispers in their voices. Move even if mockery is their response. Move even if no one is watching. because eventually they will watch. They will look back, perhaps with awe, perhaps with regret, and realize that you never asked them for a single ounce of permission. And that, my friend, is the embodiment of true power. You do not demand attention, you command respect. You do not wait to be told it's your turn. You take it with grace, with strength, with unyielding precision. Because when you truly know your worth, you never again move with timidity. And when you move like that, you don't just change your life, you change everything around you. Life, with absolute certainty, will deliver blows. That is not a pessimistic forecast. It is a fundamental promise of existence. There will be moments when the wind is violently knocked from your chest, when structures you painstakingly built seem to crumble into dust before your very eyes. You will experience loss of things you believed indispensable, of people you held dear, of precious, irretrievable time. And in the depths of those moments, an insidious voice will whisper from the shadows of your despair, "Give up, it's over, you're done." But you must listen to me now, with every ounce of your being. That is not the end. It is, in fact, a profound beginning. For nestled within the heart of every setback, every perceived failure, lies a potent seed. A seed of wisdom, a seed of resilience, a seed of unparalleled strategic insight. Pain is not solely a punishment, it is a powerful preparation. The individuals who ascend to true greatness, who leave indelible marks on the tapestry of time, are not those who skillfully avoided hardship or navigated a life devoid of obstacles. They are, invariably, the alchemists who took every loss, every agonizing delay, every crushing disappointment, and meticulously built a new, more potent plan from the wreckage. They refused to allow pain to paralyze them. Instead, they permitted it to sharpen their focus, to hone their resolve, to clarify their vision. You must fundamentally shift your perception of failure. It is not a terminal diagnosis. It is not an insurmountable stop sign. It is merely a detour, often laden with crucial lessons that a smoother path might have concealed. When you fall, when something precious breaks, when life unequivocally tells you no, understand that this is not a final rejection, but a profound redirection. You are being guided, sometimes forcefully, towards something deeper, something more aligned, something ultimately better, even if it is invisible to you in the present moment. The strongest souls in this world are not those who have been gifted an easy, untroubled road. They are the resilient warriors who have consistently, courageously turned their stumbling blocks into stepping stones, their obstacles into undeniable opportunities. They faced the raging storm not with fear, but with a defiant declaration, "I will not break. I will build. I will not panic. I will plan." The critical differentiator between the defeated and the truly dangerous, the formidable, lies in their response to adversity. Defeated individuals remain prostrate, crushed by the weight of their circumstances. Dangerous individuals, however, rise again, not merely restored, but imbued with a newfound clarity, an intensified hunger, and a refined, more potent strategy. When a door slams shut in your face, you do not simply weep before it indefinitely. You meticulously study why it closed. You learn the mechanics of its operation. You dissect the reasons for your exclusion. And then, armed with